from Manifesting Me. Thanks for being here. I write, talk about, and teach manifesting. I have a book on Amazon.com called The Pocket Guide to Manifesting. I also do custom one-on-one sessions. I've linked to all of that in the description box of the video for anybody who's interested. And hey, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps other people in our community find it. And subscribe if you want to know when new videos are posted. I've been thinking a lot about what it takes to maintain our, manifesting center when it seems like the world is getting more and more and more chaotic. And if you've been following me for a while, or if you're just familiar with kind of my belief system is that, the outer impacts the inner. So what's going on in the world around us certainly impacts what's happening within us. But equally, what's going on within each of us is impacting the world around us. So inner affects outer, outer affects inner. We're all connected. We live in an energetic world, and energy is just dancing with itself, and different vibrations are playing with each other constantly. We can't turn that off. We can't stop and say, oh no, not today. What's happening inside my head is not going to go out into the world and cause any sort of ripple effect, and vice versa. What's going on in the world around me is not going to get in and affect me. We don't have the ability to say that. So what do we do? What is our inspiration for staying centered during what feels like increasingly chaotic times? So I have a lot of videos that offer tools for ways that we can just kind of come back into our own power as manifestors. And remember, in my belief system, it doesn't have to be yours, because go with what feels good. If it feels good to you, it's right for you right now. If it doesn't feel good to you, just skip it, leave it behind. That goes for anything I say, for anything anybody says. So in order to stay kind of centered in our power, first of all, we have to remember that we are powerful, that everything we see and hear and experience around us, we've drawn into our sphere because that's the vibration that we're at. There's no judgment one way or the other. So it's not like if, we happen to be seeing a lot of chaos around us, if that's what we're tuned into, that we then chastise ourselves because that just creates more chaos. It's more that we just notice it and go, oh, okay, well, this is my awareness, and I see what's happening and I accept it. The first, I think one of the biggest thing to remember when we want to make a change to something is that we have to acknowledge that it exists and accept it as it is. Because if we don't, if we're fighting against it, no, that's not how it is. No, that's not how my mind works. No, we get stuck. Those are very, any kind of conflict like that just keeps us stuck, whether it's conflict with just us resisting something or, conflict around us. However it happens, resisting what's happening makes it harder to get out of. I think of a kid, I absolutely loved these things I'm not sure this is any more the politically correct way to describe it, but they were called Chinese finger prisons, I think. But you would stick your fingers into it. And I think they were maybe made of bamboo or, some sort of like reed-like material. But the more and the harder you tried to pull your fingers out, the more stuck you got. And when you were able to just relax, you could very gently slide your fingers out of it and you were fine. But it was, I think that's a really good metaphor for what happens to us, and certainly with manifesting energy, is when we're resisting what's happening, we're basically just getting ourselves further and further stuck in that scenario. If we can just take a deep breath and relax and start to use our tools to envision, to feel, to seek out a new, more positive thing to focus on, an energy that feels better to us, then we can start to shift the energy. But it's really not until we just accept, okay, well, hey, this is where I am. Maybe I'm, at a job I don't like. Maybe I'm in a relationship that doesn't feel good to me. Maybe my finances don't feel good to me, or there's something going on with my health, in my body. But rather than chastising ourselves, again, which creates more chaos, conflict, and stuckness, take the deep breath and say, okay, well, it's possible. And this is my belief system, but it doesn't have to be yours. But you could say to yourself, well, maybe, if I won't even put it into your words. I'll say, when I think of myself in these situations, I go, okay, well, I believe that I manifested this situation, whatever it was that I didn't like. And equally so, then I am powerful enough and have the same creative ability to alter it, to create an experience that feels much better to me. And so now that's what I'm going to do. Because who knows why? And really, who cares at this point, right? Let's not even go there. Of the why we create certain situations for ourselves, what lessons we might be after, what karma we might be paying back. We'll leave that aside for now. So instead, just, okay, well, if I brought myself to this place, I can get myself to the next place using the same set of tools. And it's our thoughts, and it's also, how we're feeling. So those two things that affect our energy, our vibration. I've been saying for more than a decade now that I don't read, listen to, or watch the news. And boy, especially lately, I'm so glad that that's the case. I'm so glad that's one of the tools in my toolbox for keeping me centered, because I know that the really important things I need to know are going to find their way to me. And I trust that. So I don't feel like I'm going to be missing out on something. And there's another thing here too, and I had done a video about this, where I said we're all the expert. So many of us, and this was something that in the first part of my kind of journey of finding myself and getting onto a more positive path, where I realized that I had the ability to shape my life and be a powerful manifester, creating a dream life for myself that felt good in all ways. I used to be the person who was constantly seeking outside sources for the knowledge, for the guidance, almost for the go-ahead in my life. And, so that's the whole expert reliance. Oh, I have a friend who's a psychic, and he's going to tell me what's next in my life, because I didn't trust myself enough to feel it, or that my intuition was going to be right on. And a lot of us do this, understandably, because that's how culturally a lot of societies have kind of created themselves around, there's one guru, or there's one sort of group that holds power and influences all the others. And that is starting to kind of fall apart, and we're starting to sort of see where that takes away power from the individual. And this is not I want to be clear, this is not a political thing. This is an energy thing. My life is not the result of somebody else or something else affecting me and shaping where I go next and who I am right now. It's been me all along, and it's been how I've processed what's been happening around me. And that's one of the cornerstones, I guess, of manifesting for me, and what unlocked everything in my world, where I was able to go from feeling like I was the victim and somebody else was in control and in the driver's seat, to regaining. It didn't happen overnight by any means. It was kind of this process of just slowly getting back parts of myself that were reminding me, oh, by the way, Megan, you're the powerful one. Each of us is powerful. We are each the creators. And when I started to embrace that more and more and more and play around with it, that's when my life started to kind of fall into place. All these different pieces that had kind of been swirling around, that I hoped somehow, some way I could wrangle in and create a life that felt so much better to me than the life that I was living all those years ago. All of a sudden, when I kind of just had that recognition, like, oh my God, it's me. It's been me all along. It's been my thoughts. It's been how I view the world around me, how I view myself in relation to the world around me, how I feel about all of that. And as I changed that around, it was like everything just kind of flipped. And suddenly things fell into place. I was like, holy crap, I'm living my dream life. And all I did was change my mind about things. And as I changed my mind around, opportunities started to line up. And it sounds simplistic maybe to put it that way, but that's in a nutshell how it happened. And we're in a day and age right now where there is more and more light gaining a foothold on this planet, which means more people are waking up to their innate power, their innate ability to be the creators of the lives, the is it plural? Is it singular? I don't know. It doesn't matter. The life they've been after all this time. We each have that ability. So rather than relying on the expert, and this goes for me too, again, listen to me if it feels good. If it doesn't feel good, just, God, shut me off. Just mute me. Listen to somebody else. But it's recognizing there are no experts other than us. If something is resonating with us, though, rather than going, oh, well, they told me that that's the way it was going to be, and it resonated with me, so them saying so, it must have been correct. Take back the power even then and go, oh, gosh, well, we each create moments where we get the exact message we need to reinforce what we already know, what our intuition has been sort of keyed in on, but maybe we just couldn't hear our intuition because there was too much noise around us. So we manifest hearing the message, and it feels good, and that's how we know that it's a message for us. So taking back our power and recognizing that it's fine because we are in community with one another to listen to others and interact with others, but that no one else holds sort of that final last word on whatever the truth might be for us in our life. So, that's a big thing for, again, staying centered in our manifesting power and maintaining peace, because that's the other thing I think is that when we've kind of turned on that fear body, which is, when we're listening to other people and getting caught up in the chaos, suddenly, we find that our fears are triggered, our fears that the world's going to come to an end, or our world is going to come crashing in around us. And oh my God, all of these experts have said that that's what's going to happen. Again, take a deep breath through that and go, man, well, that doesn't really feel great to me. And I am going to manifest something that does feel better to me. I'm going to remember that I'm a creator. And so no matter what is happening, I can create the outcome that I'm after. In the video that I did just before this one, I talked about how we get to write the ending that we want. We get to write that happy ending for ourselves as manifestors, and we don't have to take somebody else's ending that they want to kind of force down our throat, right? We get to choose. We get to choose if it's going to be a happy ending or if it's going to be filled with chaos and drama. That's for us, and it comes through, the greatest tool we have, which is our mind and how we perceive things and how we process information. So work with your tools. Remind yourself every day that you are a powerful manifester. Life is good. Life is here to support you. You attract positive people, experiences, and things all day, every day. You have the ability to flex and to flow with life. You are strong. You are one of the great lights in this world. You are here with purpose. You are supported. You are loved. You have everything you have needed and could possibly need to create life beyond your fondest dreams. Whatever is happening now that you love, you created it. Whatever is happening now that you find challenging, perhaps that is so that you can create something new from it. And again, remind yourself that this is generally a good world. We are good souls. We are souls that were born out of love. We are connected in love. And that is the truth of the world. That's my truth. And I hope that some part of that resonates for you and brings you some sort of peace as you continue to move through and manifest during these times that we're in. I'm with you. I wish all of you always happy manifesting. Thanks for being here.